If you're working in corporate finance right now, you know things feel different. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
just about recording transactions anymore, is it?
Not at all. It's way more complex, highly regulated, higher stakes.
And automation is just eating up the routine stuff. So
Hmm.
the big question really is, how do you move up? How do you become a leader, someone strategic, and maybe more importantly, how do you make sure your career is safe with all this AI coming?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to zero in on one specific way forward, the Master of Accounting, the MAC degree.
Hmm.
Our plan is to really unpack this. What is it? How's it different from, say, an MBA? What kind of salary we're talking about? And crucially, what are the tech skills you absolutely need for 2025? Things like machine learning, blockchain, stuff that wasn't even on the radar a few years ago.
And that tech piece, it's absolutely vital. We have to stress that. The Mac isn't just about looking backwards anymore. It's really a key to getting into fields where accuracy and trust are paramount. It's not just number crunching. It's designed to make you a better analyst, a more strategic thinker, someone who can handle these really complex global rules that just keep getting tighter.
Okay, so let's start right there. Defining the degree. If you, our listener, already have a bachelor's in business or finance, why add a MAC? What's the actual focus?
It's all about depth and compliance. Think of it like this.
Hmm.
An MBA gives you a bit of everything: HR, marketing, operations, finance. It's broad.
Horizontal, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. Horizontal. The Mac is vertical. It's a deep dive into advanced accounting standards, sophisticated ways to manage money, and those really dense regulatory rules.
So the curriculum is specifically for jobs needing that expert level.
Right.
Like auditing, tax, corporate reporting under standards like IFRS or GAAP.
Precisely. That's the target.
Yeah, when we looked at the course lists, it felt like a big step up from undergrad. Things like advanced financial reporting, complex consolidations. It sounds intense.
It is. That's where you learn how multinationals combine their books, for instance.
And advanced assurance and audit theory, corporate tax strategy, even specialized stuff on accounting ethics, which feels more important than ever.
Definitely. And of course, advanced financial analysis tools and techniques, it builds that technical expertise.
And how long does this usually take? Time commitment?
Typically 1 to 2 years, although you do see some really intensive full-time programs, often for people whose firms are sponsoring them, that pack it into 12 months.
Okay. So why the urgency? You mentioned a 2025 imperative. What's driving the need right now?
It's really two big things: globalization and regulation. Businesses are expanding everywhere, operating across borders.
All right.
They need accountants who are genuine experts in how different standards like IFRS and US GAAP work together. That kind of convergence knowledge, you don't just pick that up. It takes focused graduate study.
Makes sense. And let's talk about the payoff, the money. The data we saw was pretty striking. Accountants with a master's potentially earning up to 25% more than those with just a bachelor's. That's a huge difference.
It is a huge difference, and there are good reasons for it.
Okay, like what?
Well, first off, the Mac usually satisfies most, if not all, of that 150 credit hour requirement you need to even sit for the CPA exam in most states.
Ah, okay, so it streamlines getting licensed.
Exactly. It smooths that path significantly. And the CPA license itself is a major career booster, a ceiling breaker.
Gotcha. What else?
Second, the sheer technical specialization opens doors. It qualifies you immediately for more senior roles, compliance jobs, advanced advisory work, roles that someone with just a general finance degree probably wouldn't get.
Right. And third,
The ethics training. It sounds soft, maybe, but in today's environment, with all the scrutiny companies face, employers really value that demonstrated commitment to ethical practice.
okay, so the Mac is clearly powerful. But here's where I think people often get, well, confused. It's the Mac versus the MBA in finance choice. Both sound like great business degrees.
They are great degrees, but they serve very different purposes, lead to different places. It demands some real self-assessment from the listener.
Like, what kind of leader do you actually want to be?
Exactly. If you think about the bigger picture, the Mac and the MBA are solving different problems for an organization.
How so?
The Mac provides the technical backbone. It's about deep vertical mastery, knowing the accounting rules, the compliance frameworks, the internal controls inside and out.
Okay.
And a Mac grad is trained to spot errors, structure complex deals legally and ethically, make sure the financial reporting foundation is rock solid. That leads you toward paths like Big Four audit partner, specialized tax guru, head of internal controls.
But hang on, let me push back a bit. If your ultimate goal is, say, CEO or a broad general management role,
Yeah.
wouldn't the MBA, the traditional exec path, make more sense?
That's a fair question, and that highlights the strategic difference. The MBA is more the horizontal leader.
Right, like we said before.
It teaches strategic financial management, how to allocate capital effectively, manage M&A, optimize the whole business. An MBA uses finance as one tool among many to drive overall strategy. They're generally not the ones worrying about the nitty-gritty of lease accounting rules.
Okay, so it really boils down to clarity of purpose then. If your main contribution is going to be technical depth, accuracy, knowing the regulations cold, essentially creating or interpreting the financial statements, the Mac is the way.
That's the path.
But if you're aiming for broader leadership, using the data your Mac team provides to make big strategic decisions across the company, then maybe the MBA fits better.
That's a good way to put it. It's about where you want to focus your expertise.
Let's shift to the career outlook then, because it looks really strong, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics sees steady growth for accountants, especially auditors and analysts, right through 2032.
It does. And what's interesting is how that specialization pays off in these high-value niche roles. The degree cultivates advanced judgment, and that's where the value lies.
Let's put some numbers on that. Specific jobs. Based on estimated 2025 salaries, U.S. dollars, auditors, the ones ensuring compliance, we saw starting points around $70,000 to $95,000, plus often good bonuses, especially in public accounting.
That sounds right.
Forensic accountants and financial detectives, basically they're looking at $85,000 to $110,000. That requires specialized skills taught in the Mac.
Absolutely. Investigating fraud requires specific methodologies.
And then if you climb the ladder to controller or CFO, especially in bigger companies, the potential just explodes. $150,000, $250,000, even more.
The leadership track has significant upside, yes.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting for me, and where the Mac programs have to deliver now. Technology. It's not just a tool anymore. It's changing the whole game.
It is fundamental. Automation is taking over the grunt work, the repetitive data entry,
Which frees up the accountant to do what?
to focus entirely on strategy, analysis, risk assessment, the higher value stuff. The modern Mac graduate must be fluent in the tech that processes the data, not just the accounting principles behind it.
So what's in this new required tech stack?
It's heavily focused on tools for continuous auditing, for getting insights faster and more accurately. Think AI and machine learning.
How does AI actually change auditing?
Well, instead of sampling a small percentage of transactions, AI can monitor all transactions continuously, looking for anomalies, flagging potential fraud, or control weaknesses in real time.
Wow.
So the accountant's job shifts. You're not manually checking samples. You're interpreting why the AI flags something as high risk. It's a different skill set.
And blockchain. We hear that word constantly. How does that fit in for accountants?
Blockchain impacts the audit trail itself because the ledger is basically unchangeable, immutable. It reduces the time you spend just verifying basic transactions. So the auditor can jump straight to the complex judgment calls. Like, is this smart contract valid? Who really owns this digital asset? These are graduate-level skills.
So the bottom line is, if you're looking at Mac programs, you need to make sure they cover cloud accounting platforms, data visualization tools, and these real applications of AI and blockchain.
Absolutely critical. If they don't, you risk graduating with skills that are already becoming obsolete. You need a program that helps you stay relevant.
That's a huge takeaway.
Yeah.
Okay, let's broaden the view now. Global perspective. Is this Mac degree something that travels well internationally?
Very much so. Especially because, as we mentioned, accounting standards are gradually converging globally.
Right, IFRS and GAAP getting closer.
And the quality of the specific program really matters for that global mobility. Certain universities have built worldwide reputations for their Mac programs and, importantly, their CPA pass rates.
Can you give some examples? Where should people look?
Sure. In the U.S., you've got places like the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, UT Austin. They're powerhouses, known for producing top audit and tax professionals.
Okay, what about overseas?
In the UK, think London School of Economics, LSE, or the University of Manchester. They have strong links to international regulatory bodies.
And other regions? Australia, Canada?
Definitely. Down under, University of Melbourne, Sydney University, great for targeting Asia-Pacific markets. And in Canada, University of Toronto, McGill University, UBC, they have excellent reputations for placing grads in corporate finance leadership.
Good to know it has that international weight.
Yeah.
Now, the practical side, cost.
Yeah.
This is a big investment. What kind of tuition fees are we talking about, roughly?
It varies a lot, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
But just to give listeners a ballpark figure, in the U.S., maybe $30,000 to $55,000 per year. In the U.K., perhaps £25,000 to £40,000.
Okay.
Australia, you might see AUD 35,000 to 55,000. Canada, maybe CAD 25,000 to 45,000. But remember,
Scholarships.
exactly. Good candidates can often find scholarships, and you have to weigh this cost against that significant salary bump we talked about earlier. The ROI is usually very strong.
Right, the return on investment.
Oh.
Okay, an admissions tip. If someone listening is already working, maybe has some experience, what makes an application stand out? Beyond grades and test scores like the GMAT or GRE.
The GMAT to GRE are sometimes even waived for experienced folks, but the key is your statement of purpose or your essays.
What should they focus on there?
Don't just list your job duties. Admissions committees want to see you connect the dots. Show them you understand the gap between textbook theory and messy reality.
So talk about a specific problem you tackled.
Yes. A complex issue you solved, a tricky regulation you navigated, maybe a new system you helped implement. Show you can blend theory, ethics, and practical application. That's what they're looking for.
Makes sense. Show, don't just tell. Okay, last point on programs. Before someone commits all that time and money, what's the ultimate checklist? How do you judge quality? What should you demand to see?
Focus on the outcomes. Hard data. First, ask for their published CPA pass rates. How do their graduates actually perform compared to the national average? That tells you a lot about the preparation.
Okay, CPA rates. What else?
Second, scrutinize the curriculum. Does it explicitly include current data analytics tools, AI case studies, blockchain applications, modern compliance tech? Verify it's up to date.
Right, the tech stack we discussed.
Third, look at their employer partnerships. Who recruits there? Do these partnerships lead to meaningful internships and actual job offers for graduates?
Good point. Real-world connections.
And finally, confirm they track and publish their placement rates and starting salaries. That transparency shows confidence in their results and gives you a clear measure of the degree's market value.
Excellent checklist. Okay, this has been incredibly thorough. I think the main takeaway from all our research is clear. The MAC isn't just an extra degree.
No, it's strategic.
It feels like a fundamental investment. If your career path involves precision, dealing with complex global rules, and taking on real technical leadership in finance, the payoff seems solid. Better salary, more security, and global options.
And to kind of wrap up that strategic importance, I think that quote from Dr. Mary Barth really hits it. She said, "A master of accounting isn't just about crunching numbers, it's about learning to interpret business reality through data, ethics, and financial judgment."
Interpret business reality. I like that. It captures that shift from just recording to advising, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That fusion of technical skill and professional judgment.
Exactly, that's the future.
So the final thought for you, the listener. What does this all mean for your next step?
Well, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, think about those high-demand roles we talked about. A forensic accountant, maybe, or a specialized tax consultant? Which of those roles do you think is best positioned to really leverage this combination we've been discussing, the power of AI tools, plus that crucial financial ethics training? Where does the algorithm meet human judgment most powerfully? That's the intersection to really mull over as you figure out your own strategy.